of British society, particularly London. And we have found work, we have found friends, neighbours, some of us have married, many of us have children, we made a life here. And now suddenly, these rights are expected to be taken away. We've got a government that makes xenophobia, fear of the foreigner, the central plank of the government policy. Talk about, they want those migrants are more than 35,000. So only the rich, but not those of us who are working and keeping the economy going. But it's also not just about, doctors and nurses who are propping up the NHS. It's also, we're also people. And some of us are quite vulnerable. Some of us have tendencies to discrimination in our home country. So what we have got to do is, we have got to stand together under one demand, which is blanket residency rights for all of us, and not the Home Office to pick out who they like and who they don't like. I'd like to hand over to Chief Lambert, our MEP, who has been right in our corner for years and years and years. As you heard, I've been working on a lot of things around cross-border social security rights, clearly essential taking things for ever since I've been in the European Parliament, and at that time they were seen as, something for a minority interest, but now seem to have been blown up into this thing that makes it a way that instead of people can access their rights, it's a way of denying people their rights and denying people their future. And there are now many of us in the European Parliament from across a number of political groups, I won't say all, some of them are, but for many of us who have absolutely determined that EU nationals who've exercised their right to free movement should not be the victims of the UK leaving the European Union. We've been active with the Commission, I'm trying to think of a polite way to put it, trying to get them to sort of get their spine straightened again, to continue court action against the British government on this issue about access to healthcare, which is being used as a way now, having changed the rules, a way to deny people a future here. And I think we also need to be very careful within this, that, as Ulrika said, we're not looking at special cases only for highly qualified or highly paid, but we're recognising that people, the so-called economically inactive, those that have often been the carers, the partners, the people, who have helped others actually play a part in the formal economy, are also not penalised. And we don't believe that no deal, because no deal means that the rights of EU nationals cross-border will not be protected as they should be. So for us, this is an absolute priority. The European Parliament is likely to vote in the next session after Theresa May triggers Article 50. And I know that for the Parliament as a whole, the rights of EU nationals are really important. I think we need to make that case more strongly with the Parliament here, where I think that what they failed to do in the vote on Article 50 was totally shocking. To actually say this has to be a priority in the negotiations, was so simple, and so many backed away from it. So I think we still have to work hard at the national level here, and with people in our communities, so that people in the workplace, in our neighbourhoods, understand why this matters, and why we shouldn't be destroying people's lives for the sake of an 85-page booklet, which people, ask anybody, tell me where you've been in the last 10 years. My God. You know, this needs to be something based on rights, not on bureaucracy, and not on trying to get the numbers down. So you are not alone. There are many of us in the European Parliament, in the national parliament, and at local council level that want to work with you to make sure that the government makes the right decisions, the humane decisions, and the ones that protect rights.
Thank you very much, Dean. I want to hand over to Greg from Unison.
My name is Greg Toast. I'm here on behalf of Unison. We have 1.3 million members. We can't hear you. Do I need to do this? Hi. My name is Greg Thompson. I'm here on behalf of Unison. We have 1.3 million members in public services. Unison is pledged to support the right of all EU citizens to remain, and that is something that we will be joining in the campaign to press for. But just as important, in fact in many ways more important, we're also completely opposed to the xenophobia and racism that the whole point about Brexit is that it has been used to scapegoat migrants in a way that is completely unacceptable. All people in this country, all workers, all people are entitled to respect and dignity, and we support the right to remain and the right for EU citizens to treat with dignity and respect, and we're opposed to scapegoating and to the move towards That's all I really want to say, but we will be here again on the 25th.
Thank you very much, Greg. And I just want to hand over to Paul Magny from Greek Solidarity now.
I'll let you in on the secret, I'm not Greek. I'm from a Solidarity campaign. People of Greece who've been treated so badly. Just a personal note. When I was 23, I went to work in Germany. And I know how difficult it is actually to go and live in another country. I think I can speak about 5 or 6 words of German. I say even if which helped, and der Friedrich Count, which was the first phrase in my phrase book, but otherwise I couldn't speak the language. I remember trying to register with the police, the difficulties of having to go to a particular examination by the doctors and so on and so forth. People here who go on about these people coming to this country don't understand what is involved in moving to another country, what people have to go through. Often they're leaving their families behind. And so my solidarity has always been with the people who have come, who have moved, and people have moved through eternity to find jobs or to study or because they got married or because their country was smashed up by war. In the case of the Greek Solidarity campaign, there are something like the express range of 75,000 to 150,000. I think we can say economic refugees from Greece. And the problems of Greece were not actually Greek. They started in America. They started with Northern Rock Bank here and then manifested themselves in the weakest point in that capitalist chain. I think it's very important that we try now in this period when people are using migrants from other countries, workers from other countries as some kind of negotiating tool, that the migrants themselves are encouraged to get together and organise together and demand their basic human rights. My mother was from Australia and she used to say to us, and it's not a bad starting point, I think people should be allowed to live anywhere in life. And then she would qualify it with, as long as they don't take an army with them. Now we're going to have to organise an army here to prevent them expelling people, so that people can bring in their lovers and the people they want to marry and their relatives, and it's going to be a long struggle. I don't believe a word of Theresa May's saying, oh, they'll be all right in the end. If you look at the sort of regulations they're beginning to get up to on workers' rights and other aspects which will have to change after the EU, you can see that while they may want to keep essential workers preferably made more vulnerable and tied up in so many legal knots that they can't organise for their wages or organise in unions, and it's excellent that Unison is here today. They will not be thinking of the human rights, and that's what we've got to argue for. I'm sorry if I've gone on too long, but I feel very passionately about this. Good to see you today. I think the rest of the Greeks welcome the Gaudists. We'll be along in a bit.
Many thanks, Paul. And actually, yes, we have got another Greek, Johannes, is going to say a few words about it.
Thank you very much, Ulrike. I'm from the anti-fascist factions of Greece, and will be joining you to march here later on today. But I want to say something on a personal note. I'm here for more than 2/3 of my life, 46 years. I'm a British citizen and I'm a Greek citizen. And all of those of you who happen to need to fill your 90-page form soon, it's not 90 pages actually, because most of it is irrelevant. You may find out that if you're British, you do not ask for any of your family to stay here. If you're not British and you're a DNA national, you can apply on your own rights and apply to have your family to stay here. Not if you're British. I'm told by none other than the Home Office, and they're a law unto themselves. So spread this around and you'll find out that the legislation is so nonsensical that a lot of people are going to come to problems. Not just the EU workers, British families of EU workers will face even bigger problems. Thank you. Thank you very much and enjoy the march.
Many thanks for that. Anybody else would like to? Yes.
Refused to shake hands with her.
Hi everyone, my name is Mihai. I'm here from Roma Support Group and I'm speaking on behalf of the Roma community, which maybe as you know is coming from all EU countries like Romania, Poland, Bulgaria, Hungary, Germany, Sweden and many other countries. What I would like to say is that the Roma community is coming in England and it's trying to settle here for a better life. They're coming from countries where they faced a lot of discrimination, racism, they have lack of access to proper housing, employment, access to health services, and they come in here for a better life for them and for their kids. And definitely the Roma community is trying to do well here and is trying to give their best to be a part of the entire community. And what I would like to say is that definitely Roma community wants to do good here in UK, and we want to stay here. We want our rights to be respected here, and I think that all this Brexit process is affecting in big numbers the Roma community, as many of the Roma community. Many of the Roma community members, you all can see them on the streets, who are victims of abuse, hate crimes, and all this negative behavior. So definitely my message is Roma community wants to be part of the community here as well, because they came here for a better life, for themselves and for their kids. Thank you.
Right. Would someone else like to speak? Someone else like to say? Oh yeah, Tommy. Yeah, this is Tommy Tomescu, and he's president of the Swiss House.
For coming here today. My name is Tommy Tomescu. I've been soliciting for legal activities on the rights of Europeans to the United Kingdom. As you know, within the last year, many Europeans have been suffering sexual abuses. Some they have been stoned, killed, or even pushed to suicide. It's important for us to stay together and demand our rights, as until now we don't have any rights guaranteed by the government.
Hello, my name is Nick Purcell, and I too am an immigrant. As you can probably tell, I'm from America, and so I also recognize that I have a lot more privilege than a lot of immigrants that are facing persecution under the government and under the current circumstances. But I have to say, I lived in this country for 20 years. And I went back to America. And when I came back, there was a sea change that was amazing. When I first came to this country and married my British husband, I got permanent leave to remain the next day. The next day. Now, in Britain, in 2017, when I arrived in this country, I was denied leave to remain. I was told that despite the fact that I had 20 years in this country, I have 2 British children, I could not have permanent leave to remain in this country. I have to wait 5 years in order to even apply for permanent leave to remain. Now, as I said, I realize that I'm in a privileged position. You know, there are people who don't have the resources that I have, and families that are being torn apart. And I think that this really is important for us to be here today, because we have to say that this stops now. This stops now. I also have to say that it's important for us to stand up, that the theme of this day is standing up against racism. And I think that racism has been at the core of the changes in immigration policy in this country. And so we have to draw a line in the sand and say no to racism, no to splitting up families. And let's have an immigration policy, let's have a country that welcomes people from all over the world and appreciate the contribution that they make to this country. Thank you very much. I think we can all sign up to that one. You know, no to racism, no to xenophobia, and residency rights for all of us. And an end of no cherry picking of the Home Office into worthy migrants and non-worthy migrants. We all have to stand together on that. Now, is there anybody else who would like to say something? Well, I would suggest we join the big march. We've got a few more placards here. And I also have lots of these, you know, just take one along. It says, this is our home, stand up for EU migrants, residency rights for all. So anybody who wants one of those as well, just take one. And let's walk together to the march. There will be more speeches there, and the march is setting off, I think, around 1 o'clock.
No, you're not.
so sorry to be interrupting the music, but down this gap here, all right. I'm Kelly Courtney and I'm the General Secretary of the National Union of Teachers, which is the biggest teachers union in the UK and the biggest teachers union in Europe. And I'm here to say that every teacher needs to be part of the anti-racist fight. We need to do that because our children's futures is disfigured by racism. Our members' futures are disfigured by racism. But I'll tell you another reason I'm here is that I think that we can win. I think we can defeat racism. I think we can create a world that we're all feels hard now. It feels like the other side has got the upper hand, but it's felt hard before. When I was a young teacher, black children in London were systematically racially abused by the police. The National Front were running wild on the streets. And at that time as a young teacher, I was involved with school teachers against the Nazis. I was involved with a group called All London Teachers Against Racism and Fascism. We fought back. We fought in the schools for an anti-racist curriculum. We fought on the streets against the NF. We pushed them back. They are growing again, those evil ideas. They changed their focus, so they're focused on Islam, they're focused on Muslims, they're focused on migrants. Donald Trump focused on Muslims and migrants and Mexicans. They keep going at these things. But we know that all other forms of racism grow underneath that Islamophobia and that anti-migrant hatred. So we have to fight every manifestation of racism that we see. And I'm telling you, I want to deal with a couple of lies that are told about migrants, that are told by hardened racists, that are repeated by mainstream politicians, and that are sometimes picked up by children in our schools. So sometimes we hear racists saying that school class sizes are going up in this country because of migrants. It's a lie. The government is underfunding education in this country. Class sizes are going up because the government is running out of money. There are more children in our schools, and you know they were born here. They're not migrants. Even that isn't causing the problem because we've had more children decade on decade. Governments that fund education don't have higher class sizes. This government is running down our education system and increasing the class sizes as a result. So I want to urge all of you, as part of this fight, go on our website, schoolcats.org.uk, take an action, send a letter to your MP, do something to say we want class sizes for all of our children. Another lie, and the final one that I want to talk about, is that these racists and that these mainstream politicians tell us that the lack of good jobs is caused by migrants. And I just want to talk about that for a few minutes. I'm from South Wales. My dad was a car mechanic. That car mechanic's job was a good job when he had it 30, 40 years ago. And I go back home now. I go to Merthyr and there is a real shortage of good jobs in Merthyr. But I tell you, the migrants didn't close the mines. The migrants didn't close the Hoover factory. The migrants didn't fail to have an industrial policy in this country that creates good jobs. So we've got to get the enemy right. And I want to name some names. If you want to look for people who have destroyed good jobs in this country, look at Philip Green, who stole the pension fund from British Home Stores. Look at Mike Ashley, who forced people to work for below the minimum wage in Stores Direct. Look at Travis Cannon, the boss of Uber, who steals 25% of cab drivers' wages and is destroying good jobs. These people are people destroying jobs, not migrants. And I say workers, migrants, and you